What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. And today, special guest needs no introduction. And you know what? We're both smiling for once. The clip ain't ready for Arteta today. I can let him off possibly. What are you saying, Kev? How are you, bro?
Curtis, I'm good, thank you, mate. I'm still buzzing from yesterday. A game that I knew we could win, but I wasn't sure what kind of Arsenal would turn up.
Yeah.
And from start to finish, Arsenal were just on it, and I love it. Absolutely loved it.
Before we get into that, I mean, what a night that was, by the way. I had a few beers on stream as well because I saw the Arsenal back four. I was a little bit nervous, but no, I felt like if we turned up, we'd beat them. I didn't think Slavia were anything special, and we missed 3 clear-cut chances last week. So I looked at it like, if we can convert our chances, we'll get the better of them. And we did that last night. So it was great. No, I just wanted to say well done on the Sky appearance the other day with you and Jamie Carragher. Is very good on there, bro.
Monday night football.
Monday night.
They've asked me quite a few times to go on, but I've never had the opportunity because most of the time I've been away, as you know, Curtis. But gladly I get the opportunity and... look at the Brighton Everton game was poor, was really poor. But one thing it did do, you could see Basuma is a player.
Yeah,
Basuma is a player. You imagine him in our team
next to Partey.
So I obviously had to try and wax lyrical about he's an Arsenal fan and. Apparently he's a good. He wants to come to Arsenal, so put some other teams off.
No, that was decent because Monday Night Football. I mean, it gets a big viewing figures on Sky, man. So it was good to see you on there, man.
Yeah. It was good to be on. Really good to be on, and I am actually doing the Arsenal Everton game next Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm there. I'm there in the studio for that game.
Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Quality, man, Kev. Yeah, we'll all be tuned in for that. Now, Kev, the afternoon after the night before, it was scenes last night. I was going crazy on the watch along and that. It was all going off, man. What did you make of the performance? Were you surprised by how comfortable we were? Did you expect it to be a lot tighter than that?
I did, Curtis. I did expect it to be a bit closer. I actually said 2-0 Arsenal.
Yeah.
But again, even when you're confident, you're still not sure what Arsenal got to turn up because we've seen Liverpool come to town and we're still in the dressing room. This has been a bad smell for Arsenal over the time.
Yeah.
It has. And the first things you do, you look at the team, don't you? You look at the team and you see the way he's gone. Some wanted Martinelli in. You could see where he's gone with it. You're seeing Xhaka Ceballos and you're thinking, where is Xhaka going to play? Because you're thinking, is he going to play him? Is it free at the back? We're not too sure.
Yeah.
But he listen, Mikel Arteta got it right yesterday, Curtis. He got it right. And the start, wow. I think there was, even before the game, the taking the knee, Lacazette facing them, he's the captain, looking them straight in the eye. That meant something. It meant that the players were up for it. And, I was so... I'll tell you this, Curtis, I was so proud that the boys went out there and dealt with this team. Do you know what I mean? They dealt with them neatly. So after 25 minutes... We could chill out a little bit because the game was virtually over. 3-0 done.
It was done, man. Get well soon, John Page. He said out of hospital for heart issues. Yeah, I hope you're recovering well. And don't
watch Arsenal.
Yeah, don't watch Arsenal. That ain't gonna help. You know what I mean? Man said watch the game live from hospital bed. I couldn't get too excited. Oh man!
Wow.
At least it worked out well anyway. Yeah. Big up everyone for supporting the channel. Went past 24K last night as well.
Brilliant.
Appreciate that. Just quickly, I don't want to get too political, of course, but all this stuff with Slavia Prague and that. What have you made of? Look, I know your son plays football professionally, and obviously you played a few years ago, and have you been surprised that, I don't know, things don't seem to be improving that much? I mean, UEFA gave him a 10-match ban. Kieran Trippier got a 10-match ban for a betting allegation. This guy's getting 10 matches for racial abuse. What do you make of all that?
The truth, Curtis, I'm not surprised at it at all. How can the person who gets racially abused get a ban? It makes no sense. But I think it's done to appease the club. Do you know what I mean? It's done to appease the club. Look, it's been brought into disrepute. The two people involved, one gets a smaller ban, one gets a bigger ban. It'll all go away. We've seen it happen that many times. It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing, and they need to look at themselves, because, Curtis, black players ain't going away.
Yeah.
And racism ain't going away. And it's going to rear its ugly head again. We know that, because it does. It keeps doing it, because small-minded people can't help themselves but do it. And if that's the way they're going to deal with it, it's really poor from the governing body. Really, really poor. But what can we do? All we can do is be disappointed about it. But at the end of the day, Curtis, we've got to get on with it. And you know what? That's why I was so proud the way Arsenal dealt with them last night.
Yeah.
You know, batter them. They haven't lost at home for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
In Europe. Give them an absolute doing over and let them know. Everybody that scored a brothers, bang, have some of that.
Yo, I'm telling you, man. I was punching chest. You know, that Lacazette, like you said, that was you know, when you see the picture, it's a powerful picture, innit? Him kneeling down in front of all
iconic, yeah, powerful, very powerful. And you know what? He's captain, and he's staring them in the eye. He's looking them in the eye, Curtis. This is what I want to see. I don't want to see looking away. No, look them in the eye and deal with them. Because that's the only chance you get to deal with them how we can on the pitch. And boy, did we give them a beating. We give them some licks, man. Give them some lick.
Do you think, just quickly, last question on that, do you think that players should stop taking the knee? Do you think it's been kind of overplayed now and it's not doing it? Or do you think players should still do it?
No, I think players should still do it. Because at the end of the day, it's to the individual, Curtis. If you don't want to do it, Curtis, but I want to do it, what's the problem? It's no big deal. I know Wilfried Zaha said he's not doing it, and I think he stopped doing it, but that's his personal choice.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, when you're black and you want to do something, not everybody has to do it.
Yeah.
But it's something that you can do to keep it in people's mind.
Yeah.
So many times we go, it's run out of steam. No, it hasn't. Your black skin ain't run out of steam. Do you understand what I'm saying? Being black hasn't run out of steam. So as long as you're black, you do what you can, whether you put a fist in the air, whether you just stand there, whether you take a knee, you do what you have to do, because it's all fair.
Yeah. No, it's true. No, you make some great points, Kev. But like you said, let's speak about the lick down. What do you say? Brook the neck?
Brock the neck. Brock it. Brock it up.
Yo.
Brock the neck.
Yo, their team got mashed up last night, man. I loved it. You know. What did you make of that performance in general, man?
Curtis, remember, I've been on with you quite a few times, and we've had some good pods. We've had some pods where we've been at loggerheads. Our biggest problem sometimes at Arsenal is, do they actually turn up and do they look interested, Curtis? Because sometimes they're there and they're on the pitch, but it's like nobody's inside. It's like they're hollow.
Yeah.
We looked full of energy. We saw it against Sheffield United on Sunday, and I hear people saying, "Oh, it's only Sheffield United." Well, this was only Slavia Prague, and the players done it back to back. Now we're going to need this until the end of the season, because if we start performing like that, we're a problem. for any team in this league, for any team in this cup. So again, we have to brock them up, brock the neck, just like that. The same energy, the same devilment. Smith Rowe, Saka, the direct running, Pepe, Lacazette, his hold up play, the glue. Even Ceballos turned up yesterday. I thought Ceballos was excellent yesterday.
Yeah.
Him and Partey run the shot. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. To a man, 1 to 11 and all the subs. Excellent.
This is a good question from Money Green here, and I will allude to him because he's in good form at the moment. Really good form. He's obviously got a year left on his deal. Turns 30 this summer.
Still young.
What's your opinion on Laka? Would you use
said it
the
before?
form?
I've said it before. I'd keep him.
Would you?
Yeah, I would. I'd keep him. Because if you're going to go out there, if you get rid of him and you're going to bring someone else in, there's a bedding in period. Because we're not going to spend the type of money on a striker. And even that much, you could spend 100 million on a striker and he still don't settle. We've got Lacazette in our club. We've got Lacazette who plays better at number 9 than anybody else in the football club. You're starting to see him take the leadership role now with the armband on, scoring goals. And sometimes he isn't prolific. But our problem is we don't share the goals enough. Because if Pepe's on 15, if Saka's on 10, if Smith Rowe's on 8 in a season, then you're not having to rely on Oba as much. But our problem is where we are in the league, Curtis, Oba usually has 8 or 9 more goals. You put 8 or 9 more goals on us, that gives us another 8 or 9 more points.
Yeah.
And that's what propels us actually to challenge. Not saying we're going to get in the top 4, but at least challenge. But that's why we are where we are, because Oba hasn't really kick-started his season.
Yeah.
Difficult one for us. But I will keep him.
What I was going to ask you then, so Laka's got a year left. Let's say, how long would you give him as a new contract, though? Because you wouldn't want to give him 4 years, 3 years, maybe even, would you?
Well, what I would do, I would give him, the contract will be 2 + 1. So so he'll get another year plus an option of a year. But the option is both of us. We have to agree he's deserved it, and if he's willing to stay. That's what I would try and do. Obviously, players want to be as secure as they can. So he's got 1 more year. He's got next season. So I'd extend that by a year, so he'll have 2 years, which will take him up to 32. And there's an option for a 3rd season. Because if we're starting to roll and he's playing a significant role, then we just say, right, we've got the option, we'll take the option on.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that in place, all of a sudden you're going okay, and then all of a sudden he decides, I want to leave. Then you're kind of stuck again, aren't you? You know, it's difficult. So I'll try and do the 2 + 1. If it don't work out, I'll just say, right, let's stick to 2. And if that isn't working for him, then obviously you have to look at your options.
Yeah, it's. Do you know what it is? Arsenal have got so much work to do in the summer transfer window.
Big time.
I personally think they're going to keep Lacazette because I don't think they want the problem of having to find a striker. And like you said, the strikers market right now, there are so few top quality strikers and the prices are so inflated that I think they might just say, do you know what? Laka with energy around him, it kind of works.
It does.
And I think they'll maybe keep him. An interesting thing what you said. You said Lacazette's our best number 9, I think you said. Yeah. So do you believe he's better through the middle than Aubameyang is?
Yeah, he is. He is. Here's the reason why he's better. At this present time, Laka is much better player with his back to goal than Aubameyang. Aubameyang likes to play on the shoulder. He likes through balls.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're not giving Aubameyang the service, it's very difficult for Aubameyang to really play a part in the game because he's not physical. His hold up play isn't great. Whereas Lacazette's like a little battleship, man. He's there. He takes the buffer in. He bumps into defenders. He's good with his back to goal. He twists and turns, holds the ball up, brings other people into play. And he links with Pepe, Ceballos. He links with Saka, Smith Rowe excellently. We've seen it throughout since these boys have been in the team. Lacazette gets it. He gets the quick movement. So I think, Aubameyang is more of a selfish type striker, which is it's no slur on Aubameyang because strikers need to be selfish.
Yeah.
But when you play the way we play with Saka and Pepe or whatever, why you need a bit more unselfish play from your number 9 because other people are going to get in.
Yeah. I remember a few years ago when Mesut Ozil, in about 3 or 4 months build up to him signing his last contract, he was absolutely on fire. I just remember him. He was dominating games and everyone was going, we got to keep him. He signed the contract and progressively it went down and down and down. And everyone was like, has he kind of conned us there into a new contract? Would you have any worries about that with Lacazette, that he's fighting for the new deal?
No, I wouldn't, because I think Laka, since he's been at the club, Curtis, I think Laka plays one way. And he might not be as prolific as Aubameyang, but Lacazette always tries. He always puts the work in, and it doesn't always come off. But that's the lot of a striker sometimes. It doesn't always come off. But he always tries to do the right thing. He always gets hold of the ball. He's always trying to bring people in. A lot of the time, our problem's been the supporting cast hasn't been right.
Yeah, yeah.
And, even when you mentioned Mesut Ozil, Arsene Wenger never had the supporting cast for Ozil when he brought him in. Because Ozil's not a type of player who really defends. So we've needed that centre midfield player from back then. We never got it. We had players who play in there, but they're not of good enough quality, etc. But Mikel Arteta's got that now. He does have that now. So with a bit of luck, the likes of Smith Rowe and all these guys, Odegaard, if we could keep it, them guys can flourish because we're only going to get stronger.
Yeah. So you feel like Lacazette's got a much better supporting cast now around him. It makes life easier for him because, like you said, you look at these other teams, Kev.
Yeah.
They're getting 10, 15 goals from wingers, attacking midfielders. We ain't seeing that enough at Arsenal.
Well, when's the last time our midfielder got double figures? It was probably Rambo.
Rambo years ago, yeah.
And I mean years ago, right?
Yeah.
But that tells you everything because apart from Aubameyang, Lacazette chips in with double figures, but not really high double figures.
Yeah.
Who's going to be next? Probably 5 or 6? We need goals to be shared out among the team. You know why? Because that means defenses can't zero in on Aubameyang.
Yeah.
If Aubameyang plays, then you got Saka who scores goals. You got Lacazette scores goals. You got Pepe who scores goals. You got Smith Rowe who scores goals.
Yeah.
If you've got multiple players who scores goals, who are you going to mark?
That's it. It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it's difficult because and that's what makes teams go backward. And then you've got them because you're all over them. Then you take the lead and they have to open up and it's
movement everywhere. Do you ever, obviously as a striker yourself, one thing people say with Lacazette sometimes, he drops too deep. Last week, a lot of people were saying this crosses being put in. He's not in the penalty area. Why do you think he plays so deep sometimes?
Sometimes he has to go deep to get the team functioning.
Yeah.
Because it's all very well. I've done it myself. Where you stay up the pitch, you don't get a touch of the ball.
Yeah.
But crosses are coming in, and you're not even anywhere near the crosses because you haven't even dragged the centre half out.
Yeah.
But what has to happen is if Lacazette goes deep, Someone else has to be running by him. That's why Ramsey got so many good goals, because he would take the chance and run by the striker. Striker comes short, midfielder runs. What does the defender do? Does he go with the runner, or does he come with me?
Yeah.
And you have to keep asking these questions of your defense all the time. And the more they get tired, they make the wrong decisions, and then you start punishing them. That's what we done early doors yesterday. We kept asking them question after question. Scored the goal offside. We didn't even get to see the VAR. I was going crazy.
I know.
What's going on?
They were cheating. I thought they were cheating. They don't want to show it.
What's going on? You know what I mean? And then, but great thing about the team, we didn't take a backward step. We stayed on top of them.
Yeah.
And you know what? If Kevin De Bruyne had made that pass the way Smith Rowe did, they'd be replaying it on Sky for all weekend. It was brilliant what he done. The little nutmeg and Pepe, the way Pepe just shimmied and put it away. Brilliant. Listen, the guys are doing the business right now, and we need more of it, Curtis. But we need goals from everywhere. And the more goals we get from all over the pitch, the better.
One of the famous sayings that you always say to me on air, Kev, you go, it's the players, Curtis, it's the players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the manager. Yeah. Obviously, yesterday, you know what? When I announced that we were doing the show, people were saying in the comments, Kev's going to have you up today, man. He's going to have the
you, bro. No, but you know, Curtis, you know I'm not like that. You know I'm not like that. I'm just happy. I'm just happy, Curtis, that the manager, this is what we want. We want the manager to game plan for the opposition, and the boys to cross the white line and go and execute it. That's all. I'm not one to say, oh, I'm right and all that. No, but that's all we want. We want the team to go out there and represent us. Yeah. And boy, they went out there and represented, man. They went out there and done it.
No, it was proper, man. What did you make of the team when you saw it? Because I looked at that back four and I thought, why, man? But Slavia didn't seem to have enough to trouble us. But what did you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, I was going through all the permutations. I was thinking, is that a back three?
Yeah.
Or is Xhaka in the back four? No, I can't see him. I was like, he played there against Sheffield United, but will he play there against Zagreb? I mean, it's at Prague. I just can't see it. But I said, I don't know. I said, it's no point me just checking it out literally. I've just got to wait and see how it's set up. And then when it showed how it was set up and Xhaka was left back, I accepted it. I said, it's a risk, Curtis. It is a risk, but it's a risk that obviously the manager feels he can take. And I've got to be honest, Xhaka was quality there. He really was. You know, a guy went to take him on and he dealt with him, and I was like, what? Obviously, there's better players, better teams with more speed who would expose him. Yeah. But, you know, Xhaka done well yesterday in a game we needed to win. Fantastic.
Yeah, we was calling him Jackley Cole on the stream. Yes.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
you know what?
Listen, he was good.
I had Lacazette on the green screen yesterday, but I had to put Pepe on today because, do you know what? I just want us to let him loose. You know, what I liked about yesterday, he never started against Olympiacos home and away, Benfica home and away, or Slavia Prague the first leg. So I've always had this impression that Arteta doesn't fully trust him in the biggest games. But yesterday he played him. And I thought, listen, everyone played well yesterday, but I love the fact he got the first goal. He got an assist. He scored in the first leg. Is it time now for Pepe to have a consistent run in this team?
Well, I think I've mentioned this on here before, that Pepe's doing a lot of work on the training ground.
Yeah,
and when you do the work on the training ground, you start to see it manifest on the pitch. We know Martinelli's doing a lot of work on the training ground. You see Martinelli come back. Even when he came on yesterday, he ripped the guy, the fullback, and probably should have scored. Yeah. But these guys, Arteta's starting to get across to them that, you know, the work you need to do on the training ground is going to help you. But you have to be consistent. That consistency just doesn't come just by your natural talent. You have to work at it, Curtis, because you know what? Everyone's professional who you play against. Everybody's good. So I'm starting to see Pepe start to make a difference. I'm starting to see him and Saka. I don't know if you noticed they're switching wings. They're switching wings as well and still being effective. This is all we've wanted. And obviously, this is all now under Arteta. Arteta's got them on the training ground and he's working with them to improve them. Pepe's got everything. We know that, Curtis.
Yeah.
He's got everything. He just needs to keep doing what he's doing, and he's only going to get better.
Do you know what I wanted to ask you? And I thought, we're not going to talk about Arteta too much today, but big up Arteta for yesterday, man, as well. But what has made you so strong in your kind of defense of Arteta and belief that, he is a good manager to lead us forward?
Well, here's the funny thing, Curtis, that I will ask anybody out there just to, whether you wear Arteta in or Arteta out glasses, just think about this for a second. I am pro Arsenal.
Of course.
Whoever the manager is, I am pro Arsenal. And here's the thing, Curtis. When things don't go right at the club and you've been out of the Champions League for 5 seasons, something has to change. So if you bring somebody in and you want it to change, it's not going to change overnight. So you go in and you sort the dressing room out, you get rid of some of the deadwood, you get rid of some of the cancer, and then you start to move forward. And this season has been up and down. Our top goal scorer has gone off the boil. Everything seems so desperate.
Yeah.
But if we're going to move forward and we're going to make things change, we have to keep to the plan. People call it trust in the process or whatever they want to say. What it is Arsenal needs to change to get better. And that's what I'm for. So whether Arteta's there or not, if this was Emery, if Arteta was the first guy to come in and then this was Emery, I'd be saying the same thing. Give him time. He needs time to change it. The football club isn't what it was. We've got to let him pick his team and squad that's going to take this thing forward. And the other thing is, how many new managers, gets a tune out of the players and wins a trophy? I don't think that is given enough positivity, because winning a cup isn't the league, but what it is, it's silverware. It's silverware. And there's only 3 or 4 trophies a season that you can win. And if we're honest, Curtis, we are not the richest club. We are not the best club competing anymore. So to be able to win a trophy is massive. Absolutely massive for us. But this was always going to happen because there was people in the dressing room who needed to be out. Listen, I call it, we're going to feel the pain. It's very difficult for Arsenal fans to accept it. It is. And we expect to be, where do we expect to be? We expect to be 6th, 5th, 4th, challenging even now. But that's not realistic. We are not that club at the moment. But you know what? If we can win this Europa League, which I think we can, 2 trophies in 2 years, Curtis, for a novice manager, that would be incredible. That would be incredible. You name me a manager who's come in as a novice and done what Arteta's done.
Well, listen. Obviously, if he wins the Europa League, I will completely, like I said, humble pie. I'll have him on the green screen. But I'll have him on the green screen. I'm telling you. I think what my issue was with Arteta, and I completely see what you're saying. Arsenal, we're not Chelsea, Man City. We can't just say there's 200 million, fix it. We're not that club, so I get it. However, is going to turn this club around. It is going to take time, and I fully understand that. What my issue was we won the FA Cup, which was great. I didn't feel like in the league this season we were seeing enough progress. I felt like, are we really going anywhere? Like, we're actually behind where we were in the league last year. You've got teams that were finishing 20 points behind us the season before now, overtaking us. Mm-hmm. And that's where my question marks were about him. It was like, are we actually moving forward? Or have we just stood still and watched other teams go past us that were behind us before?
Yeah. And that's, and you know what, Curtis, that's fair. That is fair to question that.
Yeah.
But what you also got to do, you got to look at the facts as well. The facts of the matter is we're probably 8, 9, 10 goals down than we are last season.
Definitely.
You have an Aubameyang. It's like Harry Kane scoring 10 goals for Spurs. Spurs will be nowhere near where they are.
Yeah.
But that's the type of impact Lacazette and Aubameyang have when they're playing. This season, there's been times where Lacazette's gone off the boil. Let's be honest, Aubameyang hasn't even really turned up to the party only in a couple of games.
Yeah.
So, you add another 8, 9 points on our tally, we are right up there.
Off. Yeah, we're up there. If you
know what I mean? We're right up there.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. And that's why some of these other teams who have gone through, they're having a better season this season. But we're not, because our main striker isn't quite at the races. He hasn't even got started.
What do you make of this comment? I think he's got a bit of a point here. Do you feel like we use the start of the league season as kind of, it was almost like a pre-season, like he was figuring out the team, and because obviously they had such a short pre-season?
Well, I don't want to make excuses, Curtis, because excuses does nobody any good, right?
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, there was no preseason. He's a new manager. And there's other clubs out there who last season came nowhere and are doing a lot better this season. But most of them have got settled squads.
Yeah.
They add 1 or 2. Most of them have got settled squads. Arteta has to unsettle our squad to break it up, to move it forward, because he's got to. You've got to break it up, because Mustafi, Ozil, Kolasinac, all these guys, you actually want out.
Yeah.
But you can't.
So you've got
but you've got to move and shake and juggle. And the Ozil name kept getting mentioned earlier on in the season because the team was struggling. We need creativity. We keep hearing it. Have you noticed something? We don't hear that shout anymore.
No, we don't hear it now. We don't hear creativity.
So let me ask a question to the people in the chat.
Here we go.
To the people in the chat.
Go on.
Why all of a sudden is there nobody saying we need creativity?
He's found out.
When realistically, we should be worse, because the big guy number 10 has gone.
But I think we know he was done, man. The big number 10 was finished, man.
Yeah, but people were still calling for him to be reinstated to the team.
Some people were, to be fair.
Do you know what I mean? No, Ozil's dead food. That's finished. We got young vibrancy. We got young legs. And that matters. All the creativity is in the top end of that pitch. You could see it yesterday. All the creativity you need. Because it's not just relying on one player. Everybody's got to participate. And that's why we finished them in the first half last night.
Yeah, that was amazing, man. Nearly 1,200 people in the chat. Make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe. The legend is in here, Super Kev, Sky Sports Monday Night Football, man. And it'll be on Everton Arsenal next Friday. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Because obviously you've got fond memories of both clubs. I know you're a boyhood Arsenal fan, but clearly Everton mean a lot to you. And their fan base seem to really idolize you as a player, man. Do you what's kind of your feelings on Everton as well?
Well, obviously they play that lot tonight, don't they? And
Oh yeah, it's a big game.
they play 2 Fridays in a row. So again, I think Everton's first 11 could give anyone a game. They're really
Yeah,
strong. But when you get past Decore not being there, Alan not being there, James Rodriguez ain't the same when these guys ain't there. Gomez has been out injured. They're not the same. They're not deep.
no,
They're not deep or anything like that. So, playing Mason Holgate in midfield, he's a
yeah,
defender. He can do a job defensively, but he's not gonna hurt you offensively. He's not gonna hurt you
no.
with passes. So they struggle. So they're gonna struggle. And they've got a hell of a battle on tonight. No Dominic Calvert-Lewin tonight as well.
Wow.
It's going to be a struggle because they find it difficult to get good ball just to Richarlison. And one thing Spurs do have, they do have a dangerous front line. So they're going to have to defend with their lives and maybe nick it to get anything out of the game because they've hit the bad patch at the wrong time.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think with Everton, like you said, they don't quite have that depth in the squad. Like when they lose 2 or 3 big players, they haven't really got much in reserve. But I suppose they've done all right considering, where they were last season. I think they have improved. But let's hope they get a result.
Curtis, one thing I will say is this, just to add on to what you're saying. Carlo Ancelotti is a legend of a manager. And even he has to take his time to build something. They started the season really well. Best start to the season in years. But once you start getting into the season, it takes a bit of time because loss of form, injuries, you have to juggle the squad. And you look where Everton are. Everton are challenging for Europe, but a couple of bad results, Curtis, and they could be way out of it.
They could be, yeah. They could be out of all of Europe.
Yeah, that's just how the league goes. The league is crazy.
I always felt like this was a really big job for Ancelotti because when you look at the last clubs that he's been at, PSG, Bayern Munich, KC Milan, Napoli was a challenge, obviously trying to overtake Juventus, but without being disrespectful, this is probably one of the lowest clubs that he's managed.
Yeah.
So it was always like Carlo and
it's a project,
yeah, and he's quite old now. So a lot of people were like, is this just him picking up a check or is he really motivated to build this club? But he does seem like he's wants motivated. To stick around.
No, he's motivated. Definitely loves the club, loves the place. Yeah. And he's really got a feel for it, which is nice.
Yeah.
But again, even that experience, he knows it takes time because, do you know what? Just bringing players in for the sake of it won't work. And here's the other thing as well, Curtis. When you buy players, when you buy better players to come into your team, what that does, it shines the light on the weaker spots. Because now, at fullback, when we bring in all these players, Partey comes in this, and then you're looking at Bellerin at right, you think, oh, we need a right back, we need a cover for left back, it shines a light on your weaker spots.
Yeah, badly. Big up 123 Hazard with a super chat said City, Liverpool, United, Chelsea, Leicester, Spurs, Everton have better teams than us. In perspective, is Arteta really doing a bad job or are expectations warped? I mean, what do you make of that, Kat? Have they all got better teams than us, in your opinion?
Well, they have because they're above us. Their teams have been performing. Look, the bottom line is, the bottom line is you could define better teams. And the teams have been performing better than we have. Our issue is our best player, goal scorer, hasn't got going. And again, I put a lot of onus on that because goals change everything. Yeah. An extra 10 goals gets you the 3 points here, gets you a point here. It makes a difference. And add another 8 points or whatever. Makes a difference. Some of those teams are not bigger clubs than us, obviously. Some of those teams have had the squads longer, have got deeper squads than us. Our problem has always been our consistency. Our consistency. And sometimes, the expectations are warped because we don't want to feel the pain. We don't want to accept. We don't want to accept that we're 9th or 10th in the league. We don't want to accept it. The fact of the matter is we are, but that puts extra pressure on Arteta, doesn't it? Because look at us, we're 9th in the league. Look at us, we're 10th in the league. You know, he's doing a crap job. He's doing this, he's doing that. No, it's unfortunately, or fortunately for that matter, it takes a bit of time to bed yourself down, get players' minds right. There's a change of players. There's different players coming in. There's players having to understand what the Premier League's about. It's all a learning curve. Some of the players who were there had poor starts to the season. Now they're starting to find form.
Yeah,
you always have to judge it for the full season, because if you judge it for half a season, you could get a false impression.
Yeah,
but it'll be interesting to find out where we finish, because now that we're starting to gain a little bit of momentum, Curtis, it will be interesting to see who of those teams could keep it where it is.
Yeah, that's it, innit? Balogun here with a super chat said, Arteta is smart, but I'm afraid he's a slow learner. Took him dozens of games to realise Willian doesn't work. His decision-making is jaw-dropping. What do you make of it? Willian seems to be out of the way now.
Yeah, listen, but I think it was always the case that Arteta needed the squad to be playing at his highest level. And if we're honest, whether Willian was playing or not earlier on in the season, we still weren't getting the results. So I understand what you're saying, following, but you could there's a thing you could say for it, and there's a thing you could say against it. The fact of the matter is now we've got more players playing more consistently. And when you got players playing more consistently, you're going to win football matches.
Yeah.
You know, they're showing energy, they're showing fight, they're showing drive. That's all we ask for. We ask for that. Last 2 games, clean sheets, which is what we love. 3 goals and 4 goals. We take that.
We'll take that
all day long.
Do you think Arsenal have made the mistake of relying on Aubameyang too much? Because I remember years ago, at one time Van Persie, and you know, we've always seemed to have one player who's getting all the goals. And you think, if this guy gets injured, I'm actually not surprised that Aubameyang's kind of hit this brick wall, because I think he's almost been overachieving in this Arsenal team, considering the team he's had around him the last couple of years.
Now, Curtis, you took the words right out of my mouth, because Aubameyang, what he's done, he's had let's be honest, in the last 2 seasons, take this season out, he's had Arsenal on his back. He's the one who's been carrying Arsenal. And South London's Finest makes a great point. This was always going to happen. Everyone said without Aubameyang's goals, we would be mid-table. But people wouldn't believe you if you said Aubameyang will hit a wall.
Yeah.
No, he's 20 goals a season. He's 25 goals a season. He's challenging for the Golden Boot every year. He's not challenging for the Golden Boot this season.
No.
And that's why if you take away 8 or 10 goals from us, you relate that to points. That's 8 to 10 points. That's huge for us. That is huge for us. Add another 10 points, and I believe we're in the top 4. But you know, that's how close this league is. That's how tight it is. And we're sitting 9th. We've got an opportunity to win a few games now. Win Sunday. Win Sunday. And then you start to say, right, we're close.
Troy said, if Arteta burned down Kevin's house, Kevin would thank him for the warmth and insurance money. Troy, man. Troy.
Hey, Curtis. Curtis, like I said, whether it's Arteta there or not. See, some people, just want to say stuff because they want to be proved right.
Yeah, exactly.
And Troy, I don't mind you saying anything like that because I bet you when Arsenal won the FA Cup last season, you said nothing.
Yeah.
And if we go on to win the Europa League, I wonder what you're going to say then.
That's it, man. That's it.
You know what I mean?
I've always said, Kev, no matter how much I've criticised the manager, I want the best for the football club. And if he turns it around and he becomes this great manager, I'm all for it. I just want to see the results and the progress, you know. Hopefully we do.
Yeah, but here's the thing you see, Curtis. The way the fan thinks about progress isn't necessarily how progress goes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it looks like it's getting worse, but it's actually getting better. Sometimes. And if Sir Alex Ferguson was at Arsenal, Troy would have wanted him out.
Yeah.
Troy and his crew would have wanted him out. But look what happened. So again, I'm pro-Arsenal. I want the football club, whether it's Arteta in charge or it's whoever, I want the football club to do the best it can do. And luckily, I understand it takes a bit of time because we can't just expect it to change. But the fact that we are Arsenal, the fact that we won the FA Cup at the end of last season is because we are the Arsenal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Curtis? It's because we are the Arsenal and because he did get a tune out of the players. That can never be taken away from him.
No, it can't because, like you said, a lot of very good managers have not won trophies, so he definitely deserves that credit. Troy's come back with a super chat. He said, "I love you, Kev. Just having a laugh. I'm grateful I got to see you and Righty in the flesh as a kid." He knows,
nice
man.
One.
He knows.
No, listen. I know it's. Listen, I love the banter. I love it all and all that. But listen, if Arteta burnt that mouse, I broke him neck. I broke the neck. What are you talking about?
I broke the neck as well. Yes,
broke the neck, man. What?
Look, moving on. Looking ahead, Oz has led me in nicely here. He said, "Kev, what do you make of the Emery Arteta matchup? Obviously, Villarreal semi-final." Now, this is why I was happy to have you on today as well, because you cover Spanish football.
Yes, I do, yeah.
What can Arsenal, what have we got to look out for with this Villarreal team and obviously Emery as manager?
Very dangerous team if you let them. They can score goals, but they can concede goals. They're not a great side. Let me just say that for starters. They're a good side, but they're not a great side.
Yeah.
We will be favourites.
Yeah.
If we turn up like we turned up last night, we'll win. We'll win. If we turn up like we did last week,
we're in
they'll
trouble.
turn us over. Because you can't turn up against these caliber of teams and expect to knock them out like we did last week. Yesterday, that was Arsenal. Last week, no.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be any of the semi-finalists playing like we did last week. So, again, high-stakes football, here we come. And I believe the first leg's away.
The first leg's away.
We can beat them over there. Yeah, we can beat them over there. I'm telling you. We can beat them over there. They're doing all right, but they're not great. I'm telling you. I mean, they're not great.
Looking at the table here, I mean, they're 7th in the league, 46 points. I mean, 1 place above Granada. I mean, I watched Man United against Sociedad in the last round. I think they beat them 4-0 in Spain, United.
Yes, smashed them up.
And they're ahead. So, I mean, they've got, obviously, Coquelin plays for them. Capoue, who used to be at Watford. Foyth from Tottenham. Raul Albiol, Bacca. I mean, I would make us favourites having a look at their team. I believe we've got a better team than them.
Definitely favourites. Definitely favourites. It all boils down to, Curtis, if we turn up, if we attack them with the energy that we attacked Prague with last night, they won't live with us.
Yeah.
Chukwueze's a flying machine.
Yeah, he's quick.
He's quick. But again, that's why we have to get the press right. Because if we get the press right and we trap them, he's not going to get any ball. He's going to get no ball at all. And we do know, I fancy us to win this. If we turn up, I fancy us to win it and win it well. I do.
Yeah.
But if we don't, if we mess about like we sometimes do, it's gonna be a tough one for us.
Yeah, I mean they got some old players there, man. Bakar, Albiol, a few old boys.
Experience.
Experience. What's the feeling of Emery? Is he highly rated over there in Spain? Obviously, he won 3 Europa Leagues at Seville.
Yeah, he is highly rated. He is, and the fact of the matter is, obviously, he managed Arsenal. Managing Arsenal was a big thing out in Spain for him. Obviously, he came back and he started off doing really well. There was a lot of people using that stick to beat Arteta with earlier on in the season, weren't they? Look at Emery top of the league, but it sorts itself out because they're not the best team. They're a decent team, but they're not the best team. Still very well respected. They still, get results against decent teams, but they're not an elite team. That's one thing. They're not an elite team. They're not an elite club. So we are the favourites for this, whether we like it or not. Even though we're up and down at times, we are the favourites.
And like you said, the first leg away from home, which I personally prefer it when it's like that. I think go away and then get them back to your place and finish the job. So would you say
finish the job over there? Finish the job over there.
Well, yeah, hopefully,
because you can score. Listen, they it's typical Emery team. They take chances.
Yeah,
they take chances because they're offensive. So what you got to be able to do, you've got to be able to punish them when you get the opportunity. You got to punish them.
Yeah,
and we're looking a little bit more like it now, aren't we? We're looking a bit more like we can punish teams. So we have to keep that going. And, you get 1 or 2 away goals and we're in business.
I think that's the big difference between now and the start of the season. You look at Pepe, Saka, Smith Rowe, Lacazette. We've, even Martinelli looked good the other day. We've now got 4 or 5 players in the attack that all look like they're in good form now. It all looks to be connecting a lot better up there now in the attack.
Because we've got energy. I mean, some of the football we played, and I know people might say it was only Sheffield United, but some of the football we played on Sunday was brilliant. And then we took that into last night's game.
Yeah.
So, and as fans, that's what we want. We want to see the product being kind of the same week in, week out. And if we could continue that till the end of the season, I tell you, we'll get close to winning this, if not winning it. I'm telling you, because there ain't many who could live with that front lot.
What do you make of the other semi-final? Have you got any preference as to who you'd rather Arsenal played in the final, or if we make it?
It's going to be Man United. It's going to be Man United out the other side.
I think
Roma are decent, but they're not Man U. Man U will beat them over 2 legs. Man U will beat them.
United
on a one-off game,
Roma could trouble them, but yeah.
No, I'm talking about us against United. On a one-off game,
I don't think I'd be able to watch it. I'd be behind the sofa, bro.
Why? What about don't let me have to brook the neck in the room, way.
I'm telling you.
Don't let me have to brook. Curtis, listen, we owe that United. We owe United.
We do. But do you know what it is? I'm usually more afraid of Arsenal than the opposition. Because I'm like, you know what I'm saying, Kev? These lot will defeat themselves some weeks. But, oh, man, listen, I would love that. It would be a huge... Imagine if it was Arsenal, United, and City and Chelsea in the Champions League. Could be 4 English.
That would just show you the power. That would show you the power of the Premier League.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it? That would show Europe the power of the Premier League. But I think, listen, I watch Real Madrid every week.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you now, that midfield trio, Casemiro, Cruz, and Modric. Modric is 35. He's still doing it, mate. I'm telling you, them guys are brilliant. Them guys are brilliant.
He's a joke of a player. I'll ask you a few quick predictions then, right? So Chelsea, Real Madrid. Who do you think gets through?
Real.
Real. And PSG, City.
I think City are going to do him.
And then obviously you think United will win in the other one. And obviously Arsenal, you think will beat Villarreal?
Yeah, over 2 legs, yeah.
Yeah, I fancy us to beat them. Just quickly before I get out of here, Aubameyang, malaria. I mean, that sort of came out of nowhere just before kickoff. What do you make of that? And obviously a lot of people have been criticising him, but I'm sure the last few games, that would have really affected his performance.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you don't know you've got these things until you take a turn for the worse, Curtis.
Yeah.
And obviously he's gone back home on international duty. He's come back, he's trained, he's done whatever, and he hasn't looked himself.
Yeah.
And sometimes as fans, you don't know what's going on. Then you hear he's got a virus or he's got the flu. And then people saying, he's been dropped or something.
Yeah.
All sorts of rumors come out, don't they? All sorts of rumors come out. And then to find out he's in hospital because he's got malaria, all he could do is wish him well and wish him a speedy recovery. But that's not an easy thing to shake.
Yeah.
And that affects the whole system. So, Oba, take your time and come back and make sure you're strong because, we've got some young boys now who are carrying the can and hopefully they can carry it all the way until you're fit.
Yeah, for real, man. Get well soon, Oba. Balogun said, Kevin, where do you see us in 3 years?
3 years, we've got to be challenging in the league, and we've got to be challenging in the Champions League. That's what has to happen in 3 years. Has to.
Do you think it can happen with this owner?
100% it can. 100% it can. Listen, I'm not putting too much on the owner because the owner has spent money. I'm not saying he's bankrolled the club and he's thrown 400, 500 million of transfer window. We know he hasn't, but we have bought players, and a lot of the time we've bought rubbish. Let's be honest. We spent a lot of money. So when Emery took over, we should have had a better team. When Arteta took over, we should have had a better team. Now we're going to have to chop and change in the summer and fatten this squad up and get the team right. In the team, we still need 5 or 6. In the team.
You think we need 5 or 6 new players in the team?
In the team, we do.
Wow. So that's half a team you're talking there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's a big summer needed. Walter King, thank you for your super chat, said, Kev, who would you prefer to win the Champions League, Chelsea or City, and why?
I think
City, surely.
Yeah, I think Man City to win it would be just about right because they've bankrolled their emergence, and that's the only thing that's missing.
Yeah,
is a European trophy. So I think Manchester City winning it wouldn't. I wouldn't want Chelsea to win it.
No, because they'll be talking about London.
They'll be throwing it in our face. Yeah, City. Yeah. If City won it, you could see City are that team. They're desperate to win it.
Yeah, they look ready to win it to me as well.
They've got pain. They've gone through some pain.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, even Spurs getting to the final before them was a painful one.
Yeah. Just finally, one thing I wanted to ask you, Kev, before I let you get out of here. Martin Odegaard, again, I know you work with La Liga, covering their games. What's the general feeling over there? Because we're over here hearing different stories. Do you think Madrid are willing to do a deal in the summer, or are they kind of saying, listen, you've got him for a year, we're bringing him back?
Yeah, I think he'll come back. Look, Real Madrid are going to play high-stakes poker, because they're going on another Galactico run.
Okay.
And, Fiorentino Perez, who's the president, there are players now like Mbappe, etc., who they cover. And the economy isn't quite what it used to be, Curtis.
Yeah.
So I think, they're going to have to move and shake and raise some funds.
Yeah.
So the likes of Odegaard, who is comfortable at Arsenal, you could see he's fitted in perfectly.
Yeah.
He would start at Arsenal. Will he start? He can't dislodge them three in midfield.
No, you can't. Even
Real
at their
Madrid.
age.
At their age. Modric, I think this is one of his best seasons. I'm telling you, he's been unbelievable. And obviously, they've beat Barcelona twice. They beat them last weekend.
Yeah.
They beat Atletico Madrid and drew with Atletico Madrid. And over there, if you win the head-to-head, goal difference don't matter.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Yeah. If you win the head-to-head, goal difference don't come into it. So Real Madrid are 1 point behind Atletico. Atletico got Barcelona to play Barcelona at the Camp Nou. Real Madrid, they're going for the title. They're going for the title now. So it's going to be a sprint finish, and they're the form team. Because before last, Barcelona went 20 games unbeaten. They'd won 17 games out of 20.
Wow. That's crazy.
And Real Madrid took them down last week. That
just
goes to show.
Do you know what's crazy? I do watch quite a bit of Spanish football, and I think Atletico have bottled it. I think they're going to lose it, to be honest. I think they're going to get taken away from them. But it's funny. I was speaking on a stream the other day, and we were talking about, if Arteta ever was to go, who would you take? And we were talking about Zinedine Zidane. And I feel like it's strange that Zidane has won, 3 Champions Leagues? I think he's won the La Liga back to back. And yet he's kind of not that highly rated. People were saying, oh, no, he only won it because of Cristiano Ronaldo. And I was like, why do you think Zidane's not that highly rated by him?
Yeah, but
this is what people were saying.
Curtis, but what people? Who are these people?
Well, the man them in the comments, man. After
no disrespect. This is and listen. There's no disrespect.
Go on.
But to win 3 Champions League back to back
is ridiculous, isn't it?
Come on, man. Come on. Stop it. Whoever is saying, "Oh, it's only because of Chris," stop it. Just stop it. He retired. They brought him back to the club. Yeah, and he'd won 1 La Liga before he came back. Perez said to him, listen, we need you to come in to stabilize things. He only came in and won the league last season. His first season. So, come on, Curtis. Only top managers come in and start winning.
Yeah.
Only top managers do that.
Zizou at Arsenal, man. I'd be all for Zizou and that magic bold patch at Arsenal, man. I'm telling you, he won't take no prisoners in the dressing room, man. You know what I mean?
No, he's a good man, and he's a player's man as well.
Yeah,
he's calm. He's a player's man, and But the thing is, he has the quality.
Yeah,
he has the quality at Real Madrid. So. We don't have the quality. We don't quite have enough quality.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Luka Modric, Granit Xhaka. It's a little bit uneven, isn't
it? Tony Cruz. You know what I mean? These guys.
El Neni. It's not quite the same.
It's not quite the same. Not quite the same.
Kev, I appreciate you coming on as always, bro. Much appreciated.
No, thanks for having me on, and thanks everybody in the chat. Cheers. Have a good one, and up the Arsenal for Sunday.
Come on, man. At least we can smile for the next couple of weeks, until those big games, man. Everyone, make sure you check out Kev on Sky Sports next Friday, Arsenal against Everton. So you'll be in the studio, right?
Yeah, be in the studio for that one. Yeah.
All right, Kev. Appreciate you coming on. Big up everyone in the chat. Smash a like. Over 1,200 of you on here. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back tomorrow, people. Take care.